Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here. I got another Master Duel video for you. Coming back at you with some more Dragon Link action. Definitely wanted to come back and explore this deck again now that it is finally free of all its restrictions. Oh, it's so nice. We got Wyver Burster back at 3, Quick Launches at 3, Chaos Space I think has been at 3 for a little bit, but still, all of these cards that were... Like, okay, we can all definitely, we all do this in the moment too, but we can all definitely admit now that Dragon Link never needed to be hit at all, right? I still feel very, very strongly about that fact. At least Konami is making an effort to undo that mistake on their part, but... that's actually not the only newish thing that we've got going on in this Dragon Link build. I am also playing a Dragoon package with the Dragoon and the Vert, the Extra, and of course the Red Eyes Fusion, as well as Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon in the main deck. So you might be wondering, why are you playing Red Eyes Black Dragon in Dragon Link? You have Dragon effect monsters to use as the other material. Well, the reason is actually for Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. See, I'm still using this alongside, of course, the Black Metal Dragon as one of my main engines in Dragon Link. And before, you would just play Gamma, which was already good in your deck anyway, and then send the driver off of Meteor Dragon. Which you could still do, and I don't think that would be bad. But I will say, it's a little bit awkward with Gamma being at 1. It really, really is. Like, the limitation of Gamma has really kind of, like... put the screws on as far as like, okay, do you really want to play driver for this hand trap now? Because you're going to be seeing the hand trap out as often as the driver. And I think decks like this and Yubel, which have a lot of good utility with the Gamma and would normally play it before, even those kind of decks, I want to say it's 50-50, but I think actually the majority are still not playing the Gamma. I could be misplaying here and the Gamma still could be the way to go. But one of the things that we get to do with the Dragoon package is have multiple vanillas to potentially dump off of our Black Meteor Dragon. I guess you can send it from the hand. It's just not really a big deal in that regard. But the idea here is that we can dump the Red Eyes Black Dragon off of the Meteor Dragon and then still be able to go into Red Eyes Fusion, sending Dark Magician as well as a... dragon monster from our deck to the graveyard. Again, this can send stuff from our hand to you, so you could also just play Dark Magician and not the Red Eyes, and that really would not be a big deal. In fact, the more I talk about that specifically, I think I kind of want to make that change moving forward. Taking out the Red Eyes Black Dragon, that is. No Fuelos in this deck. I know some of you are probably thinking like, oh great, Hex just gonna jam 3 Fuelos in every single deck now. No, I mean, it's like I said before in previous videos, right? I think that Fuelos should go in decks that has room for it. And not just room for it, but room for it and other good hand traps you want to draw off of Fuelos. Dragon Link is one of those decks where, in the hand trap department, like especially for a smaller build like this, like, it's just Maxi, Ash Blossom, and that's pretty much it. I mean, we do have Bestials, but like, it's kind of debatable how much you can consider those hand traps. They're very situational hand traps. But like, this is one of those decks that I mentioned in those Fuelos videos where you only have room for Maxi and Ash Blossom and nothing else. So I don't think that Fuelos is good in a deck like this. Especially because Fuelos can't even be discarded for like Chaos Space. You could normal summon it, but it doesn't really add a lot to your combo lines in that regard. Unlike other decks like Mathmech and Orchest, where when we normal summoned it, it was a combo piece. It doesn't really apply here, so yeah, no Fuelos in this deck. None here. Yeah, Dragon Link has remained largely unchanged, again, except for these unbannings or unrestrictions, unlimitings, whatever you want to call them, which have now made the deck a lot more consistent. As far as starters, we have 10, I believe, in this build. It's 3 Black Metal Dragon, as far as like 1 card starters, right? We have 3 Black Metal Dragon, 3 Starleech Seifert, 3 Chaos Space, 1 for the Black Metal, and then yeah, that's a total of 10. But this deck is also just ripe with extenders, right? And a lot of our starters, like Chaos Space and 1 for 1, are actually also extenders as well, which is pretty cool. So, That's, I think, the big positive that Dragon Link has going for it. Making plays with a deck like this is very easy to do, especially, again, if you're on a lower count. Again, 45 for Dragon Link does tend to be smaller. If you're on a smaller build, those plays become that much more consistent. The big kind of drawback that I've noticed is, and you wouldn't expect this from Dragon Link necessarily, but it's actually power more than consistency at this point. Like, you know, we have one-card plays with, like, Black Metal Dragon, sure, but a lot of the time your one-card plays are going to end you on Borland and, like, nothing else. So, like, in modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, a one-card combo that only puts out one form of disruption really isn't that strong in the grand scheme of things. Now, again, granted, this deck's big power advantage comes from how many extenders it has and how, you know, those extenders will then further add more pieces of disruption to your end board. But I've said it many times recently, and I'll say it again, relying on having multiple cards in your hand to combo is not a good place to be in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! We're really at a point where you need to be able to make a full board with multiple disruptions off of one card to be considered like a truly strong deck in the meta. Now, of course, decks like Dragon Link and two-card combo decks are still viable and even tiered, but not tier 1. Anyway, let's go ahead and break this list down card by card, and then we'll take a look at some of these replays that we got here. So we're on 1 Dark Magician, 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon, 3 Black Metal Dragon, 3 Max C, 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, not just one, we have 3 Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 3 White Dragon Wyver Burster, 2 Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, 2 Rocket Tracer, 1 Rocket Recharger, 3 Star Liege Seyfert, 1 Rocket Caliber, 1 Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, 1 Bestial Magnum Hut, 1 Bestial Saronir, 1 Bestial Druid Swarm, 1 Bestial Baldrake, 1 Absolouter Dragon, 2 The Bestial Lubellion, 1 Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, 1 1-for-1, 1 Red Eyes Fusion, 3 Chaos Space, 1 Dragon Ravine, 1 Boot Sector Launch, 1 Branded Regained, 3 Quick Launch, and then 2 Called by the Grave. And that's going to be our 45-card main deck. For the extra, we're on 1 Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, 1 Borreload Savage Dragon, 1 Bestial Dispater, 1 Chaos Angel, 1 Guard Dragon Pisty, 2 Striker Dragon, 1 Heretic Seal of the Heavenly Spheres, 1 Dragoon Knight Romulus, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 Predaplant Vert Anaconda, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Triple Burst Dragon, 1 Axis Code Talker, and then finally 1 Boral End Dragon. That's going to do it for our list. Let's check out these games. Alright, I think we're actually going to... We might have all going second games this video, just looking at the replays here. Our first game is going to be against Eldlich Stun, which has been a long time since I've seen this particular variant. And to be fair, they're not really playing that many Floodgates. It's more like Torrentials and stuff, but there's a few one-of Floodgates in here. Alright, they're going to set 3 before passing. And we'll have to see how many of these face downs we can play through. Leading with the Regained, just wanted to see if they chain anything to it. 1-for-1 pitching Absolouter for Black Metal. Absolouter effect gets to activate here for the Rocket Caliber. We're then going to link off the Black Metal Dragon in order to summon out Striker Dragon. Getting to use the Striker Dragon effect here, as well as the Black Metal Dragon to chain block is very, very nice. So here, they are going to flip up one of their Floodgates. It's summon limit. So that's not ideal. But at the same time, I guess worse things could happen, because I get to chain the Quick Launch here and get another body on board before the summon limit actually resolves. So going to throw out a Rocket Tracer. Black Metal Dragon's going to add Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. And then Striker gets to add the Boot Sector Launch. And then my opponent conceded. Huh? They conceded that early? I mean, I knew this was only a 2-turn game, but I thought they did more. I guess not. Okay, well, I think that was a very early concede. It makes me wonder what their other face-down cards could have possibly been to get them to concede that early. So I guess my plan here was to just battle with Striker and Rocket Launcher. That's 2,600. And then on the next turn... Maybe they conceded because they actually knew I had lethal, because I'm pretty sure I did, right? Because on the next turn, I could banish Striker Dragon to summon Red Eyes Darkness Metal. Darkness Metal bring back Absolouter. That's 28 plus 12 is 40, plus 16 is 56. 56 plus the 26 we did last turn is 76, 82. So I did have lethal as soon as I added Black Metal Dragon, assuming my opponent's face down cards weren't able to stop any of the attacks, which I guess they weren't. But they still had a top deck, right? You could have drawn Eldlich there. That was a very early... I guess it could have been a legit connection fail, honestly. But honestly, I think that might have been what it was. But I do want to point out that we did have a path to lethal through the summon limit over 2 turns here. It really would have depended on what my opponent top decked there. Sorry about that. That was a lot shorter than I thought it'd be. I have a 6-turn game that we can follow up with. Let's see that one. Okay, so like I said, 6-turn going second game against like the weirdest Centurion deck I've ever seen in my life. It's like, okay, so it's 60 cards, which I'm not opposed to a 60-card Centurion deck inherently. But I think they're going up to 60 cards for all the wrong reasons. They're playing a small assault mode package, but the main reason they're at 60 is because they're playing 3 of, like, literally every good hand trap and board breaker in the game. There's 3 Molcharmy, Furulos, and Pirelli here. There's, like, 3 Droplet, 3 Dark Ruler no more. Just a lot. There's a lot. A bit too much, if you ask me. Which is probably why they passed without playing anything. And spoiler alert, it's going to be a relatively common trend in this duel. So our opponent's going to draw phase Furulos and Pirelli. And that's a lot of draws. But I kind of don't think that was the right play for the reason that I just did here, which is set safe for it. I've talked a lot before about shotgunning Max C. I think that applying that same philosophy to the Molcharmies is very much worth. Because here's the thing, right? Like, I could see shotgunning Pirelli if you really want to get the draw for the normal summon. But Furulos, you can almost always preempt Furulos, right? In a way that'll guarantee you to get a draw. You just chain it to an effect that summons from deck. And by shotgunning during the draw phase, they've set me up in a situation where I can give them no draws, which is extra important for me for them to have no draws, because they already passed turn 1 without doing anything, right? Anything at all. They've told me that they might as well have told me out loud I don't have any plays. So if you think I'm going to give you any amount of draws when you've effectively told me that you have no plays, ha 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 ha, that's a funny joke. Alright, so they're going to draw for turn, activate Fire Formation Tenki to add Assault Beast. I was like, okay, are we going for... Nope, okay, we're just going to summon and battle. And looks like that's all they've got. So again, I'm not opposed to 60 cards, but you got to keep your ratios in mind. Our opponent, like... all of these 60 cards, or all these extra 20 cards they've added are like, again, they're all like these board breakers and assault mode package that doesn't really advance your game state at all. And you really got to consider these ratios, and this is exactly why, especially when building a 60 card deck. But and they're still shotgunning stuff. They shotgunned back C here. And I'm just going to chain Jura Swarm and then battle over the Assault Beast without giving them any draws. Like, I'll set one of my 2 Maxi here, because, well, I don't think I'm going to need both. And all they have is in their Tenki. Yeah, if you need draws, then you need to take draws. Like, that's really what it comes down to when playing Maxi and Molcharmies. My opponent has effectively, in this game, hand-looped themselves for 3. Alright, Dark Magician doesn't look like a good top deck here, but I can actually just send it off the Chaos space and then add Bestial Lubellion. Oh, I realized... between commenting those last 2 games, recording just now, that I forgot to add Chaos Dragon Levianeer to this deck. But I actually kind of wonder if I would even want to play it anyway. I feel like that card doesn't really come up that much, aside from, like, maybe if you have a good Chaos space that's, like, not being used for anything vital. Which this one would be. That you could consider that to be the case here, but... Alright, going for the Collapse Serpent, get to link that off with Striker. We're just going to start board building at this point. I really don't think my opponent has anything. I guess even if they did have a Nibiru, which is like worst case scenario, and I am thinking about it as I'm comboing. Like, even if they have Nib, I get a huge token, Jurastorm sends the Nib, then I can special Magnum Hut, activate Magnum Hut, banish Magnum Hut for Metal Dragon revive stuff, and then... if not just having more plays, I just have a solid board anyway. Like, yeah, I think we're pretty good here through just about any hand trap my opponent could conceivably have. But as we're continuing to play and they're continuing to not do anything, it's becoming more and more apparent that they don't have any hand traps to stop me. Alright, we're going into the triple burst. I know some people might think that I'm styling by doing this combo line. I'm sorry, Dragon Link just has to combo this way. Every combo line just kind of takes forever. Oh, that's funny. Alright, I'm going to Boral End, rather, effect to negate the Assault Beast. I'm going to draw with Chaos Space. So what I'm going to do here, because, like, at this point, I had no idea what my opponent could possibly have, especially if you're playing, like, so many Mulch armies. I don't know, you might actually have Gores in your deck, or Battle Fader or something. People are out there playing Battle Fader because of Tempi. It's a misplay, don't do it, but that's why I went so far out of my way to go into Borreload Savage Dragon. Again, this looks like styling. It's insurance, is what it is. I'm just ensuring that I have lethal, like, no matter what weird BS my opponent might throw out of their hand here. But no, they don't end up having anything. We're able to swing in for game. But again, you see enough random Battle Faders out there in people's deck list, and suddenly you start making Omni Negates before going for lethal as well. I've never been hit by a Battle Fader that's cost me game. That might not actually be true. Not recently, anyway, but... Alright, there is that game against Centurion. Again, more than anything else, just a bit of a PSA of, like, hey, don't play literally every hand trap and board breaker possible. We got one more duel that we can show off here. Let's finish off with that one. And we're going to round out with another going second game. This time we're up against Drytron. I'm pretty sure I know how this one ends. But we'll take a look at it anyway. Or goes, not just ends. Yeah, I had Maxi. I had Maxi against Drytron. Yeah, as soon as I saw Cyber Emergency, I was like, okay, that's definitely Drytron and not Cybers. But we can simply chain the Maxi to the Nova here. Pretty sure all the Drytron special summons are activated effects, so you don't have to preempt the Maxi at all in this matchup. There's the new one, Drytron New 2. It's even got new in the name. I think I made that joke already. Anyway, gonna normal summon Diviner, send the Herald, Herald F, adding Ben 10. Okay. There's Synchroing. For 3? No, for 7. Jeez, duh. For the FA, Dawn Dragster, getting a spell trap negate and then setting a card before passing. End phase, I'm going to use the Saronir and banish their Drytron New 2 out of the yard. Just to not have to really deal with that. Going to go for a Chaos Space here, pitching the Red Eyes Black Dragon. Opponent's going to use their Dawn Dragster to negate that, which is completely fine because I already have the card I would have added off of Chaos Space anyway. It's going to be the White Dragon Wyverburster. We'll banish the Red Eyes in our graveyard in order to summon that and then link it into the Striker. Once again, we get to chain block the Striker with the Wyverburster. It's so nice having Wyverburster back at 3. Oh, it's so nice. It makes the Dragon Link lines, like, so much more consistent. Alright, Striker and Collapse Serpent are going to go into, of course, the Romulus. Again... This is the thing about Dragon Link, is that to do even, like, the most basic amount of stuff, you gotta do, like, a long combo line. But I don't mind that at all. I even like it. That's the thing, right? Like, I say a lot that, like, oh, modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Is all about one-card combos and having a lot of hand traps and doing a long combo line and knowing the correct point to disrupt, or if they have extenders, and a lot of people are really off-put by that, and that's completely valid, right? Like, I totally understand that. I don't know why my opponent dropped... Oh, they dropleted for 2 to have the Saronir, so I couldn't battle over Dawn Dragster, of course. I understand that. I completely get that. I enjoy it, personally. That's why I still play Yu-Gi-Oh! But I completely understand if people don't like it and are frustrated as a result. So yeah, as soon as they figured out that I had the quick launch for the extension anyway, they're going to go ahead and concede here. I do think my opponent played pretty well. I think they saved their droplet. I don't know, actually, now that I think about it. Should they just dropleted my Striker Dragon? Or the Romulus? That's, like, when to use Valor or Imperm, or just a monster effect negate in general against Dragon Link is a very difficult thing to parse. It's also very dependent on what the Dragon Link player has in hand, which of course you're not going to know. So that's why I typically like going for Striker or Romulus. I think Striker is a little more important to go for, because Boot Sector Launch is ultimately going to be more important than Dragon Ravine in the grand scheme of things, but I get why my opponent did. The thing is, though, even if I didn't have Quick Launch in hand, like, I definitely still had plays. I could have gone into SP and or, well, not and or, but SP or access code, if nothing else. Link into Pisty. Well, actually, hang on. I could go Tracer plus Romulus and, or no, Tracer into Pisty. Sorry, Tracer into Pisty into one of the left zone that Romulus points to. Then Romulus plus Saronir into Triple Burst. I could have made Borland, if nothing else, off of what I still had on board. So there is that. But anyway, that is going to go ahead and do it for these games. Thank you so very much for watching them. I appreciate you watching till the end, as always. That is a huge way to support the channel. Like, I always talk about, like, YouTube memberships and Patreon and all that stuff and subscribing, but, like, if you watch to the end of every video, that's, like, the most massive way you could support the channel. So thank you if you're listening right now. But that'll do it for this one. Let's move on to our outro. Hey everybody, Hexlex here. Just want to give you a huge thanks for watching all the way to the very end of the video. Believe it or not, that is actually one of the best ways that you can support the channel, is by watching the videos in their entirety. But there are many ways in which you can support the channel if you are so interested. The names that you're seeing on screen here, I gotta give an extra special thanks to, because these are people who have chosen to either become a member on YouTube, which if you're interested you can do as well via the join button next to the subscribe button down there, or have signed up over on Patreon and become members there. Link to that is going to be in the description below. Without the support that is being offered by, again, all the people that you're seeing on screen right here, I would not be able to take the time to dedicate to uploading daily YouTube videos. So thank you so very much. But there are also other ways you can support as well. Again, link to the description below. If you like my deck tracker that you'll see in a lot of my videos, the Untapped Companion, you can download that for free, and if you use my affiliate link down there, then that also goes a long way towards supporting the channel. That's, again, free. So is subscribing here on YouTube. That's also free and a huge way to support. You can also check out Twitch, once again linked in the description below. Following and subscribing over there will not only support as well, but also give you notifications of when I go live if you want to catch some of the live streams. But really, no matter how you choose to support, it all adds up, and it all definitely means the world. So thank you, each and every one of you. For now, this is Hexlex. I'm going to be signing out. But more than that, I'm hoping that you have a fantastic day.